This video is sponsored by Welsh Yacht Insurance. It's great to know Tay-Lee is in safe hands for our upcoming adventures. You know by now we are bunkered down in Veradero Boatyard and Aruba, cracking through a lot of those niggling little, or rather large actually, jobs that we've wanted to do for a while. Last week you saw us hack away at our anchor locker and find this small horror on the way. Is it bigger or smaller than you thought?
I don't know yet, I haven't got the end of it.
Oh, you haven't?
No, not yet. I'm still going.
Now it's time to move on to deciding whether to restore or replace this crumbling motor. I'm about to start the windlass. We don't know for sure whether we're gonna use this one or whether we're gonna kind of look to get a new one. It's pretty corroded, but we'd like to bring it back to life. So yeah, I'm on that project. It's really windy. I've got the fish gutting board, which we got from IKEA in Porto. And yeah, I'm just gonna WD-40 it and give it a bit of a scrub and see what we're working with. I think I'm gonna take these off as well because this is so messed up. We are 99% sure this windlass was original with the boat, and whilst we did think there was a few issues with it, we didn't quite expect to see this level of corrosion. Hopefully a good clean up will show us whether this is salvageable or not. It's looking a whole lot better. We've obviously got some pretty bad corrosion down here, but I've taken the worst of the actual corroded bit off. The only thing that is a bit of a iggle is all the wires. They're quite badly arced. It's not that great that we've been running with that for so long. It might be a case, if we do end up keeping this one, to take the actual motor out and to deassemble it in order to run some new wiring, because that just isn't safe at the moment. Someone had put duct tape around it and then had put a heat shrink over the duct tape.
After a lot of umming and ahhing, we actually decided to order a new one. We had no idea what wattage our pre-existing windlass was, but given that I often had to help pull up the chain and anchor by hand, we concluded it was undersized. We also spend 99% of our time on anchor in remote locations, so need to 100% rely on it to work. First time, every time. Look what's just arrived. It's our brand new windlass from Muir. We're super excited for this upgrade. The old one's out there, and as you've seen in previous clips, it's pretty knackered, but this is gonna be good.
We see the big boy first?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it looks so nice.
Look at that, almost don't want to touch it. It's almost...
Wow. So compact.
Yeah, that's stunning.
And that's all you'll see at the top.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then those are the holes that will go through the deck.
Okay, so what are we doing on this very non-windy day?
So we're starting our Muir windlass project. We've done all the anchor locker stuff down there, and you can see the thickened epoxy is here through these old holes, but we've got quite a bit of work to do here because the Muir windlass that we've got is pretty different to our old one. We'll talk about more about the specs later, but the actual footprint of it is going to be very different. So this is the template which we've got with it.
Sorry, I crumpled it.
A little bit crimpled now, but we've got to figure out how this is going to best lay over these holes at the moment.
We went for the kind of sleeker look on deck rather than the traditional vertical windlass, horizontal windlass. The one annoying thing is it never rains here in Aruba, ever, and last night it rained, so we have a wet deck right now, but it will get hot soon and dry out really quickly. So yeah, I'm going to cut out the template and we'll see what we're really working with.
Some good cutting there, Becca.
Thank you. So now I've cut the template out. As you can see, it doesn't really match up with the holes we've got on deck at the moment. We need to make sure this chain line is matched up with our anchor chain there. I think almost what would be worth doing is putting getting something really straight, putting it down to here and drawing just some pencil lines on deck so we know what to line it up with. But we're thinking we're going to use this hole as the motor hole. It's not going to be in the middle because obviously our chain won't then be in the middle.
But our anchor roller isn't in the middle anyway, so it's got to be offset.
Yeah, our anchor roller, we have two, so we've obviously got to do it to one side. So yeah, we're just figuring out now what holes we need to fill. Obviously these ones we're going to cut to a more uniform shape and fill with teak and then do a seeker line in, but we need to figure out kind of all the rest.
On the plus side, we've got enough spare teak to be able to do all of this.
So are you gonna, sorry, there's thunder in the distance. Are you gonna do a thin layer of epoxy and then teak it, or are you just gonna teak it?
So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna cut out, I need to wait for that one to dry a bit more, but I'm gonna cut these out to uniform shapes, measure them, lay that onto the teak over there, cut that out, try and fit these in exactly. Once I know those fit, what we'll do is we'll get some thickened epoxy, put it all in here, lay those all in to those gaps, and then we'll come back at a later date when they're all dried and cured, draw out the lines, the caulking lines on here, scrape them out or cut them out until we've got the grooves in there, then lay the caulk in. I think that's probably gonna be just about as good as we can get it.
Yeah.
And then these smaller ones here are gonna be quite simple. All we're gonna do is just cut them out to 8mm, the same as all our other plugs. And yeah, just a little bit of epoxy in there, put them in. These are the old bits of the mounting plate for the old windlass. They're a little bit knackered, but what we're gonna do is sand these up, clean them up a little bit, and then we're gonna put the stencils on here for the other bits, cut them out and fit it. But they're quite nice because it's the same age teak, so it looks like quite worn like the other teaks. So hopefully this will do the job, but it just needs to be aesthetic more than anything. It's not structural, so I know it doesn't look that strong, but as long as it looks good on there, it doesn't really matter because it's not, there's no load going on these or anything. So
I love that. That's the first time we've ever said that about anything on the boat. It's just aesthetic.
It is just aesthetic. It's
Yeah.
like realistically, we could just epoxy that. It would look rubbish, but it would do the job still. But we're going to try and make it look good. With
Aesthetic
this old
era.
stuff.
I like it.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
This step easily took us the longest as we tried really hard to match the grain of the pre-existing teak with the new cutouts. How's it going?
Good, but we don't have a 10mm plug on board. All of our plugs are 8mm, so we're gonna have to find something to cover up the one 10mm plug that we won't be able to cover because all these will be covered by the windlass, so we're just gonna thicken epoxy them. But we've got this, and I've got a bit of sandpaper. Hopefully this will work.
Is that the teak in the drill?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, nice. A patchwork deck. I like it. Satisfying.
Yeah, it's nice, it's just sitting there, isn't it?
I thought I won't make it quite as thick as normal because it might fill the gaps a bit better.
Yeah.
I really hope it doesn't rain.
Yeah, like that?
Yeah. Wow, that looks nice.
Yeah. It's gonna be the biggest hole I've ever drilled on the boat by a long way. This is huge.
How big is it?
So, well, it's meant to be 70mm. We can only find a 68, so if it comes to it, I'm gonna grind out a little bit. But the actual shaft that goes down is 65, so imagine what the team at Muir has done is allow a bit of room for Sika around it to seal it in properly. So we're gonna have a mil less on each side for sealant for Sika, but I think what I'll do is I'll grind out a little bit on the inside just to add another 2mm on. But yeah, this is as good as we can find.
As you know by now, we initially struggled to find worldwide cover for us and Tay-Lee until we found Welsh Yacht Insurance. If you are also looking for cover, you are in luck as they're currently running the sweetest competition for your sailing companion. For more info, check out the link in our description box below.
Beautiful. We've got some of the main holes out there drilled for where this is actually going to go through. So this whole bottom motor unit here actually detaches from this, I don't know, what would you call it, the gypsy windlass top unit. So there's some instructions here that came with it, and that looks pretty simple to just connect it. From the looks of it, there's just one bolt that's sitting on the bottom, which is that one there, which is already loose, and then this clip, and then the whole thing should just pop off.
Nice, okay,
So
go for it.
I'll give that a go.
Wow, look at that. Oh, it's greasy.
So there's a key in it as well. Sorry.
Nice. Wow, looks nice. Look how fancy that is. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. It looks so nice.
It does, doesn't it?
Wowee. Oh my gosh, and the sanded bits look so good too. It's blended right in.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
But that bit you can't even tell.
No.
But once we've done a line on that and everything.
Such a nice space in here, Zach.
Yeah, I know, right?
I might move in.
Could almost be another cabin.
I know.
Hello.
I can't see you on here.
You can't see me. Oh, you can a little bit.
A little bit. It's not wanting to focus. It's nice airflow with you up there.
Is there any airflow?
Yeah, lots.
Is it?
It's quite nice. Ah. Anyway, I'm in the anchor locker now, as you can hear by the echo. And I'm gonna just take photos of the wiring. Top tip, if you're ever doing any new wiring, just take photos of how it was before. Even if it wasn't great, even if it was wrong, even if you want to improve on it, just take photos. There are a lot of wires in here for what there is.
I know it's gonna be difficult.
It's fine. I wish we had done this before I painted. It's chipping the paint off.
We didn't really think though, did we?
No.
You got it.
It is moving now. Oh! It didn't hit me in the face!
Right.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yay, nice. God, that is a corroded little bit of
Yeah, I bet.
solenoid.
This is our new foot switch, which is actually bigger than our old one, so we're going to have to drill this one out as well a little bit. Slightly annoyingly, the centre hole on the place where I want to put this new drill bit has already got the centre bit drilled out. I haven't got anywhere for this to set in, and these bits without this centre drill bit here wander loads, and so I've just made a plug that I'm going to bash into there, and then I'm going to drill into the right spot on that, and that should hopefully guide me for the first little bit. So it's not going to be permanent, but I'm just going to bash that in now, and then it'll make my life a lot easier. That worked pretty well.
It's crazy how thick the deck is. It's like that. Mental.
Some caulking later, and it was time for the finishing touches before the next day's big install. So that's what the baluster was meant to look like in there, and I'm pretty happy that bit's like it. I was a bit worried about this button because I thought it'd be a bit rotten in there as well, but it's all solid in there, which is super nice.
Just adding some epoxy to the deck because last time we had water ingress between the two layers. So now we're gonna epoxy, and then we're actually gonna, once that's all set tomorrow, add another layer of Sikaflex around it just to be extra safe, because we really don't want what happened last time to happen again. So yeah, lots of protection on this bit of deck. So we're on the bow this morning, and we're just trying to figure out how to orientate the switch, because we were limited by the old one, and this one's a bit larger, and we've got a D-ring on the deck here.
Which
so
we want to keep where it is because it's quite a good point for our whisker pole.
We can't go this way, which is the way we wanted it initially. So we can have it this way, but the issue is when it's folded like that, the person who's going to be pushing on the switch is going to be standing on that, which is silly. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to have it this way. Yeah, I think that's fine.
we've just got the bolts on and the washers. I'm just gonna put some Loctite or equivalent stuff that we've got here onto the bolts so they don't move, and then that's kind of the main installation for the deck fitting all done. We'll put the motor on in a bit as well, and then we're gonna leave it 24 hours, tighten everything up a little bit more, and then start doing the wiring.
Nice.
As you can see, we went for the Muir Storm 1250 watt windlass. We were super drawn to this model as it's got a rope chain combination gypsy, dual direction motor, and as the majority of the hardware sits below the deck, it is even more tough and durable for the harsh life it's going to lead. Plus, with a 1200 watt motor, this thing is going to pull up our huge anchor without even breaking a sweat. Yes, solid, eh?
Looks so nice.
I'm back in the anchor locker again, as you can see. We just installed the Muir windlass on the deck yesterday with Seeker. That's all dried now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten these up in a bit and make sure it's properly clamped down, but we left it 24 hours so it would dry. And you clamp it down with Seeker and then it gets the best seal you can get from it. I've actually got the motor just here and I'm actually going to fit it onto the shaft here. So I just need to make sure that the keyway lines up with the slot in here. And then when it's in the right place and up, I just put this clip in, which is quite clever, and then I put the bolt in. So I'm not having to fiddle around doing a bolt with all of the weight of the motor pushing down on it, on me holding it up, because it'll be a bit of a pain in here. It's a bit of a tight spot anyway. And then, yeah, Bob's your uncle. Lovely. I'm just gonna put some more grease on this as well. I've got some marine grey white grease, which I think is pretty similar to the stuff that we've got here. I'm just going to put a little bit on here because when we were installing the thing, a lot of it wiped off, so just going to make sure we've got enough.
Ooh, shiny. Oh, that clipped. Yay, look at that.
That's easy.
That's awesome.
And then this bolt is the actual thing that holds it on really well instead of that clip.
Lovely. Happy?
Yeah, really happy.
As usual, we have found some bizarre wiring in the boat. We are doing the new wiring diagram and wiring for our windlass, and the bow thruster battery has this strange small wiring which has a fuse in it which ran up to the deck switch of the windlass. And essentially what we figured out was, we actually figured this out last year but we didn't remove any redundant wiring then because it kind of worked. But it was trickle charging through the deck switch from the windlass, which was just a complete bodge job. And
so weird.
Yeah, like, we don't want that.
It doesn't make any sense.
It was a shortcut for someone to run wires all the way back to the engine batteries. But anyway, as you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but there's this little, yeah, the fuse isn't in it. We took it out. It kept tripping, and so we've actually wired up a whole new charger for it. So yeah, I'm just gonna literally take that out now, and we don't need it.
Make it all a bit simpler in here, yeah?
For sure.
Yay, out.
More redundant wiring out. Okay, so we went to just wire in the windlass now. Zach had installed the whole thing. And we really did think that we could use our old cabling, because in the end, our old windlass picked up a 40kg anchor, and I don't know, we never had the full 100 meters of chain out, but we assumed it was a kind of an oomphy windlass, maybe 1000, maybe 1200 watt motor. So we assumed the wiring was sufficient. We thought it had no markings up the other end of the boat, so we thought it might be 35mm square cable. We were hoping that it would be 35mm square cable. In the end, it turned out to be 16mm square cable, which makes us think our old windlass was more like 800 watts, hence why it often needed a helping hand. They didn't stock big enough cable in the marine store here, so we hopped online and ordered it from the States instead. In the meantime, we wanted to test out the manual override on the winch anyway, so it was a great opportunity to do so.
So that's off. This, then just, oh, you see where it goes, can't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all locked in as well.
Mm-hmm.
Show the people how heavy it is.
time. We have had the parcel delivered from the US. This is 100 foot of 50mm squared cable, also known as 1 gauge in the US.
Isn't it 1/0?
1/0, 0 gauge in the US. And yes, today we are going to wire in our new windlass. Very excited. As you all saw, Zach pulled up the chain manually, and actually that wasn't too bad. Surprisingly not bad. Yeah, we've got an electric windlass, so we're going to make it electric today. Starting with, this is all black, so we're going to just label it up positive and negative. It worked out a lot cheaper like that. Let's get to it. The first step is I need to feed this leading edge all the way along here, around the hot water tank and through the 2 holes there. Luckily they fit.
We've just got to this bilge here in the forward cabin, but we've never taken this floorboarding up.
We have this blue carpet behind us, and you might remember that from our saloon ages ago now. But I hate it. I really hate the carpet. I don't know why carpet belongs on a boat. But yeah, I think we're going to pull it up. I just hope that there's no hidden surprises underneath the carpet. And hopefully they just wanted a bit more comfort underfoot. Should we pull it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really stuck, Zach.
Yeah, do you want to?
No, there you go. I got it. Oh! It's very shiny. It might just have glue on it though.
Yeah, it might be. That doesn't look too bad with that.
Wait, don't speak too soon. Oh, this feels so good. I hate... Oh, that's
yeah,
just good.
that's the hardener.
Oh, that's fine. We'll be able to get that off with the sand. Oh, a hidden...
Oh, there's actually a latch
Yeah.
there. Why would they cover that up?
It's for comfort.
All the carpet's off. The floor's not a massive priority at the moment. It's not in the best of states. I think it needs a bit of varnish remover and sticky stuff remover, whatever we get to, a bit of a sand and then a revarnish. But until then, I'm going to open this up, and we've never seen in this bilge before, so it might be full of rubbish.
Oh! Oh, wow!
It's actually not too dirty. Loads of storage room for cans.
Yeah. I'm going down. Wow, that's proper boat yoga. Oh, my knee. I'm just using blue tape to mark the first run of negative, and then Zach's going to cut and we'll crimp that, and then the negative will be done, which will be really nice, and then we'll move on to the positive. Oh. Great success.
It's now dark outside, and how far along are we, Becca?
We have almost done the thick wiring. We've got one more cut, crimp and heat shrink to go, and then we do the skinny wiring to the deck switch. But yeah, we're
I think it's about 7, isn't it?
Yeah, we're kind of determined to finish this now. So I've just crimped the last crimp, all done, and now we got this nice little fuse holder from the chandlery here, and I'm just going to install a 3-amp fuse, which I actually got back in Portugal, of all places. So yeah, gonna put this in now. I've never used one of these fuse holders before. I made a DIY one last year with some electrical tape. Oh nice, and you can actually see if the fuse is gone. Funny that. Cool. Okay. It's the next morning because we were wiring until about 9:30 last night, and it got to the point where we were just so tired. So we've woken up and we have checked the entire wiring system with a fresh set of eyes, and I think it's time. We're gonna give it its first turn on and test. Tulu.
Yeah?
Yeah, go for it. It works! It's so quiet.
Which way is that going? That's the other one.
Anti-clockwise.
So that's letting it out, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's fine. Let's just double check that. See if I've got some force in it. Yeah, that's letting it out at the moment.
Okay.
So if we switch those two bits around, that
Yeah.
should be fine.
So it's just a case of me putting it on the other spade panel, yeah?
It should be, yeah.
Okay, shall I just go do that?
Yeah, do you want to go?
Okay, stay here. So this is the wiring diagram. This is the deck switch we wired up. We only have one, so we probably should have wired up that one. Which is easy because the negative will just go to A2 rather than A1, and the positive still goes to the same place. Let's do that now.
Yay!
Yay, it's the right way now.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Nice! Woohoo! We have an electric windlass, Zach!
Again. Yeah, finally. That looks so much nicer. That
And
really handles it well as well.
And it's
doesn't
so much quieter. It's just like a little love tap. Doot. Love that.
That's good, eh?
Yeah.
I can't wait to try that out soon. That looks so much better as well, doesn't it?
So much better.
Oh,
She's beautiful.
that's been a long old project.
Yeah.
This. That's a nice conclusion to finally getting that done. We still want to add the rocker switch to it, but this is like
Amazing.
pretty much all of the work done for it
Yeah.
now. So we'll be able to control it from back there in the cockpit, which would be super nice. We don't even have to have anyone up here, but
That's a project for another day.
that's a little project for another day. This is like pretty much the conclusion of this
Yeah.
project now, which is
Yeah.
amazing. From a really rotten deck to having a brand new, beautiful windlass on deck. It's
Woohoo!
pretty good, eh?
Happy days.
And the windlass doesn't move.
Yeah. I know. We bloody did it.